What the fuck is going on? I switched up the camera, but we're gonna be doing weed myths today. I'm kind of gonna fly through these pretty quick, but sources are all below for the most up-to-date, peer-reviewed studies. Take a hit with me if you got something. Get some water for the video. I got some facts for you. THC percentage. I had to throw this one in for like the consumer conscious, and just because I see way too many people shopping just off of metrics, like off of percentage labels. It's not worth it. Just go based off of strain. Does holding in hits get you higher? Now, I have to cover this one for just the people who still don't know, but your lungs pretty much absorb all the THC as soon as it hits your lungs. So you don't need to hold in at all. Doesn't do anything more than just give you oxygen deprivation. It's crazy because I hate to call anyone dumb because I hear OGs say this, and also like children, like teenagers. So, really just a myth. Common. Stop holding in your hits. Indica versus Sativa. I hate to call this one a myth because we kind of correlate terpenes with them, but originally it just meant the characteristics of the physical plant, right? So, had nothing to do with the sort of effects it had on you. Absolutely zero. But now in the industry, we kind of correlate them. Like, let's say you got limonene, can be more uplifting, so we correlate that with quote unquote sativa. Overdose, right? Now, everyone knows, or at least most people know at this point, that you can't overdose off THC. Now, there were some animal studies, if you're interested, down below. They did end up killing some of them, but let's just say you weigh somewhere in the range of where I do, 140 to 160. It would take around 9 grams of pure THC, distilled pure, direct, just THC. But because of tolerance, absorption limits, bioavailability, makes it kind of impossible. You'd probably throw up or become incapacitated way before you ever overdosed. So, shout out marijuana. Can cannabis make you hallucinate, right? Now, most users, the average users, will not see anything that is not there besides some slight visual distortions at very large doses, okay? Most people just experience altered perception of time and heightened sense of awareness and like sensory, not full-blown hallucinations. Does cannabis cause schizophrenia? This one, there's a lot of nuance to, so I encourage you to go check out the studies. Don't just listen to me. From what we know, there's no direct link at all, right? But obviously, if you are predisposed to some kind of mental illness, cannabis can exacerbate it and unmask the psychosis in some people, right? But it's not guaranteed schizophrenia for everyone, right? You can look down below, Cambridge study for it. Okay, does weed kill brain cells? This is the biggest myth ever. I think I heard it all the time when I smoked. But this is actually one of the most flawed studies out, and this is, common with a lot of the weed studies you find, that the ones from, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s were extremely flawed. No value to them, okay? It's funny but very unfunny of how the studies were ran, but they would basically just suffocate monkeys for 5 minutes at a time once a day with weed smoke. The suffocation, right, and the lack of oxygen in those 5 minutes actually caused them to lose the brain cells, not the marijuana or THC, or there was no sufficient evidence ever for permanent brain damage from THC, okay? Only minor cognitive effects like memory, which were temporary and soon resolved. Weed is a gateway drug. Now, this isn't like really a myth or anything I can put studies behind to prove, right? But correlation does not equal causation. Cannabis is often simply just the first illegal drug people get encountered with. Does weed make you lazy? Or the lazy weed stoner type, right? It's really overblown, okay? There is actually a study behind this, and they found no connection to cannabis interfering with their motivation. Doesn't mean you can't overuse or become couch locked, but it proves it's a mental block. So just don't let the weed smoke you. Does weed make you sterile? Okay, for all the young folk out there, or especially young men, this is who they are for, alright? Cannabis will not permanently sterilize you, however, it can make you have lower counts and concentration by up to 30%, and can take 4 to 6 weeks of abstinence to return, right? So like stopping smoking weed to return to normal. Just like everything else with weed, this is completely reversible. most of the things with weed. Does hotboxing get you higher? This isn't a myth, okay? So before you go into comments and start yelling at me, yes, it technically will get you higher. Low-key, my opinion here, at what cost, right? Of extra smoke irritation on the eyes, the lungs, the throat. It ain't worth it. How to beat a cannabis drug test? Now, this is a big myth I see a lot because people are just trying to sell some kind of supplement or detox. There is literally no way to speed this up, right? It's pretty much different for everyone based off your consumption and your diet, but THC metabolizes into the fat and can linger for months. Lab tests can tell if you had a detox and everything, so at the end of the day, it's best if you get fake piss, swap it out. Who knows, right? That's up to you, man. Does weed help sleep? This is the most conflicting one I see, and I actually got a bunch of studies down below for it because I kind of got way too deep into it. It's actually quite interesting because it says it can help deep sleep, but it removes REM sleep at prolonged use. But they do recommend you taper off, like 1 day on, 1 day off. Basically just saying a little bit of weed at night can help you fall asleep, right? But relying on it will rob you of your natural sleep cycle. So they recommend the tamper on and off. Shout out marijuana. That's why I wanted to make this video. I love marijuana. There's a lot of big myths out there. I just wanted to clear up. Shit, consult your doctor, maybe not me. If you got clean cannabis though, I can tell you it doesn't get much better than that these days.